A stroke of diplomatic genius or a strategic blunder? Nixon's opening to China in 1972, which changed geopolitics, has been called both. Winston, a top aide to then National Security Advisor Henry Kissinger and a later ambassador to China, was present at those meetings with Nixon, Kissinger, and Chinese leaders Mao Zedong and Zhou Enlai.
We had had no communication. And so we had great tension with China, 1/5 of the world's people. We also had a very uneasy relationship with the Soviet Union, the other nuclear superpower.
The United States was fighting a war in Vietnam, and both China and the Soviet Union supported America's North Vietnamese enemy. But the Soviet-Chinese relationship was rocky, and the Nixon administration hoped by reaching out to Beijing it would gain an advantage in its dealings with the two communist nations. After Nixon's China trip, the U.S. made progress with the Soviets on nuclear arms control and on ending the Vietnam War.
And we moved in the next few months, with the assistance of Moscow and Beijing, to complete the negotiations on the Vietnam War.
In 1979, the United States formally recognized China's communist government, while maintaining an unofficial relationship with Taiwan. President Nixon called the visit the week that changed the world, and it changed China, says another analyst who spoke with VOA Mandarin's Si Yong.
First of all, to the degree to which we helped create an environment that let Deng Xiaoping begin to modernize the country, we had 40 years of peace.
At that international chessboard level, I would say it was successful. It did what they wanted it to do, but it completely ignored the reality of life for the Chinese people.
China's leaders saw the state as maintaining absolute power, adds critic Perry Link.
At the human rights level, at the spread of democracy level, at the humane level, it was fairly disastrous, I would say.
Yet looser controls on business allowed the Chinese people to transform their economy and boost their standard of living. China and the United States are now economically entwined, but they disagree bitterly in such areas as trade and human rights. Despite that, one analyst says,
it isn't easy. It doesn't always progress, but it's always been useful to try.
China has refused to criticize Russia's invasion of Ukraine, just the latest example of how Beijing frustrates its trading partners that are democracies.
China and Russia are getting closer together. This is the opposite of what Nixon was trying to achieve.
Still, since 1972, the United States and China have continued to engage, each nation pursuing its own interest, not without disagreements.
And that pragmatism powered the U.S.-China relations for decades. It may be coming apart now. You're starting to see stronger ideological trends in both China and the United States. And that is one of the sources of friction.
Friction is high now, although the Chinese ambassador to Washington, Qin Gang, spoke at the Nixon Library in California Thursday, urging the United States to take a strategic long-term view of U.S.-China relations. Henry Kissinger joined the commemoration remotely. U.S. officials have no plans to commemorate the anniversary of the visit, at least this week. Monday will be the 50th anniversary of the Shanghai Communique, which listed U.S.-China differences and specified areas of future cooperation. Mike O'Sullivan, VOA News.